Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I am Anna, and today we're going to be doing a New Year's Eve glam look. Something that the key word is going to be balanced. We're going to balance a very dramatic, cool toned eye and a kind of vampy lip that's going to be easy to wear with a more neutral blush to keep things from going too ghostly, too on the goth side of things. You guys know I do love my gothy makeup, but I have to like fight not to look like a ghost. So I figure there might be some other people out there who don't want to look like ghosts, but want to do some cool tone kind of glam. I thought I could show you a very balanced way to do that, and we're just going to talk about a few makeup tips and tricks in here today and create a New Year's Eve sparkly look. And yeah, before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know some of your highlights of 2025 down below, and what would you like to see in 2026. It could be in the beauty space, it could be your personal life, spiritually, world, whatever. Let me know. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into creating this look. Okay, hello. We are going to do some New Year's Eve makeup because I feel like doing that today, and I actually don't have any plans for New Year's Eve per se, but I have plans tonight, which is a couple days before New Year's Eve. So we're gonna preempt it with some makeup and get a drink of coffee. So I'm going to start with eyes first because I'm going to get a little smoky with it. So I've pulled an eyeliner. This one is from Profusion. It's in the shade Charcoal. We may go in with a black liner also, but yeah, this is from that little Color Spell range. It's just a deep gray liner that's almost black. And we're going to use the Xenon palette from Natasha Denona because I haven't gotten my hands into this one yet. I've had it for like over a month now, and I haven't done a look. So we need to do a look. I mean, look at these colors. Aren't they so fun? It's like the perfect New Year's Eve palette. It's so sparkly. And we're going to start with the eyeliner and doing eyes first in case we get a little messy. So this is just a twist up pencil. Yeah, I'm going to take this along the upper lash line and kind of wing it out, create a nice little base to work with of smokiness. Any liner will do for this. And yeah, this is basically just like a soft black. And I know I'm going to want most of my darkness and smokiness right out here on the outer corner. So that's where I'm going to kind of focus my liner mostly. I've already primed my eyes. Skincare is on. All of that jazz. Yeah. And then I'm going to take something I can use to kind of smudge that out. And just buff those edges. Now this is going to be one of those trust the process looks. I can tell already. Where we're just going to have to follow through and trust that it comes out good. Because it's going to look a little wild until it's done. And I don't want to get too fussy either today. Like, I want this to be relatively easy. Just a little glam, a little fun for New Year's. You know, you just want to look a little special. All right, now I'm going to go to a blending brush, and we're going to jump over into the Xenon palette. And I think I'm going to start with a shade called Flurry, which is this one right here. It's kind of I'm not sure what you would call that. It's an interesting pale taupe. Well, I'm going to take that through here, just as a bit of something to ground the look a little. It's light, but it is adding a little shadow there, and it's going to create something for these shades to kind of flow into my skin tone. And it's also going to help blend that liner a little more, soften that up, get nice and hazy. I'm going to go for kind of a hazy effect. I feel like I need to put a little Just add the lashes. I'm going to go to a little bit more of a concentrated blending brush, and we'll go into Snert. Guess that's what that says. This color right here. It's just a matte gray. Matte kind of blue base gray. And just going to tuck it into the socket here. Snert. And we're just going to diffuse those edges softly up into the socket. Previous shade, Flurry, and just soften those edges. Continuing on, I'm going to take that same little brush we used to smudge the liner, and we're going to go with a bit of, we're going to take a little bit of Night Sky, which is this one right here. It's kind of a cream formula, so it's a little bit easier to work with, and it's like a soft metallic kind of pearly black shade with a bit of a blue in it, or gray. So we're going to use that and go along with that outer corner a little and just pat that on. Kind of at the lash line, and then we'll come up and out. And I'm working very gently. Alright, we'll go back to our smaller blending brush and just keep our edges soft as we go. And now we're going to take a little bit of Cygnus, which is this one right here, very sparkly black shade. It's black with very strong silver sparkle. Silver and kind of multicolor sparkle. And I'm going to lay that right here. Kind of into the center a little more. And just let that kind of diffuse into the previous shade, Night Sky. Don't worry about things getting a little messy and fallout. We will tidy that up. That's why we're doing eyes first. Give us that wiggle room. Now we go next door and take a little bit of Stellar right here. I'm gonna make sure my brush is clean. Pick some of that up and go right here. And blend that into Cygnus. It's really nice, cold, sparkly makeup. Grungy, yet chic and fun. I'm actually going to a birthday dinner party. And we'll do a little back and forth. Just making sure everything looks the way I want. Nice. Buff these edges. I'm going to grab a little bit more of my eyeliner. Wherever that ran off to. How did I lose it? I just had it. And just make sure that is darker right there. Actually, we could take a little angled brush, like a liner brush, and take, we'll do a little more Night Sky. And I'm going to press that right at the lashes and treat that like my eyeliner. And we cleaned the fallout in the shape just a little bit, which isn't that bad. A little messy, you know, but I could have been neater in my application. Anyway, Q-tips will be essential. So we're going to grab some Q-tips and a little bit of face primer. I find that that helps clean up fallout really well. Especially kind of a silicone-based face primer, not a grippy one. You can also use your eye cream. So I'm going to take a little bit of e.l.f. Putty Primer. I like to use this one for clean up fallout. It just seems to work really well. I've got the green one right now that I'm working through. So look, it's like a magic eraser. Whoop. Clean. And it kind of smooths out your under eye too because it's primer. So it's doing a double duty. And it's not tugging or anything at my under eyes either. It's very just smooth and glides along and just picks up anything that needs picking up. Now you're working with gray and colors like this, very deep, dark, black shades. You're going to want to kind of double check and really be a little extra careful with the fallout. Give it an extra swipe because it will create kind of a weird cast on your skin. If it gets mixed into your foundation, it will turn kind of blue and it can look very weird. So just give it an extra swipe. And I mean, you can use makeup wipe for this also, by the way. I just prefer this technique. I have good precision. For myself, if I was doing this on someone else, yeah, I'd probably use a makeup wipe. Okay, here we go. All right. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and move on to skin. And then we will return to see what I feel like doing on the lower lash line. Haven't decided 100% what I want to do there. I'm going to breeze through the skin because that's really not anything novel to the look or special to the look. It's just do my foundation as usual. And I'm going to use Monika Blunder today. This is the Blunder cover in the shade 2.25 Zwei. I love the Blunder cover so much. This is such a good product. Just perfect coverage levels. Now I'm going to do a little bit of contour, bronzy stuff. We're going to use Makeup by Mario for this. The Soft Sculpt Stick. Just going to do this number. Bring a little warmth into the skin. Since you're going so cool toned, you do want to balance out a little bit and make sure you have a little warmth going on. It just kind of keeps things from going too sickly and ghostly, because that can definitely happen, and which is a look and can look really cool and chic and kind of gothy, which, don't get me wrong, I enjoy that too. But just for general instruction here, you want to balance. You kind of want to balance a little hint of warmth in there, maybe like not full on warm, but neutral is what I would recommend doing. So, for example, we're going to move on to blush. And we brought in a little bit of warmth in a very cool way with this Sculpt stick, because this is a bit of a cooler toned bronzer stick, but it also has a little warmth in it. It's kind of that perfect bronzer color for me. It has enough coolness in it, but it's not super gray at the same time, and offers that little hint of warmth to the skin. So it just looks very flattering on my skin tone. And to further kind of add that balance to the skin, we're going to take a blush that is very neutral rose. It's not going to be super duper leaning into the cool tones. Like, sure, I think like Merit Postmodern or Milani Merlot Moment would look very chic with this and very pretty as well. I also think balancing a little bit of something with a touch of warmth in, like this, can look very pretty and make something like this a little bit more approachable and wearable without going so ghostly, if that makes sense. Looks like this can go very ghostly, very goth, very easily, and get into a little bit more of a costumey look almost. Whereas we want to keep it a little bit more in that chic, wearable place, quotation marks around that. For the everyday gal, this is how we're going to do it. So we're going to take a little bit of this, and I'm just going to clean off that same brush I just used, and I'm going to do like this. I pick it up like that. I don't know. It works. It works for me to apply it like this. I don't get too much product. And yeah. This can just create a nice little balance there without getting too ghostly looking. Because not everybody wants to look goth and ghostly. And when you're pale, you can go, in especially my color, light eyes, dark hair, you go vampire very easily and very ghostly with minimal effort. So I tend to kind of have to combat that a little bit, even though I don't mind it. Sometimes it's too much. It can be overkill. To where it just looks... It doesn't look unhealthy. Like it doesn't look like a intentional thing. It needs to look intentional if you're going ghostly, if that makes sense. So this blush, I think, balances out the eye really well because it has that neutral warmth in there. And warm rose type shades like this are kind of my favorite. Just kind of a staple color. It's going to look good with whatever you put with it. You're not going to go wrong with this type of shade. It just keeps things from going too ghostly and not scream blush or warmth or coolness or whatever. It keeps a little life in the skin without being super pronounced. And especially since we're going to be doing some concealer over top. So for concealer, I'm just going to use a little bit of my Physicians Formula Butter Glow Concealer, is that what it's called? Yeah. This one I'm kind of project pan type of thing. Trying to use her up. So I'm just going to take a little bit. This is one that has pretty significant coverage, so we don't need a ton of her. And I'm just going to start with a smaller brush and be very gingerly right here. Not to mess up my eyeshadow. And just going to use this to pat in a little bit and brighten up any darkness. Being careful not to get any of that black shadow or gray in the concealer brush, because that is going to not be good. Smear that down on your face. This tip for me to you, just be very mindful while you're doing anything around the eyes with a look like this. You're going to want to take your time. You're going to want to be extra precise so you don't end up with gray eyeshadow or gray cast all over your face. Because that can happen so easily. I'm just going to use my foundation brush. This is actually a contour brush, but I like it for foundation. From KVD years ago. But it makes a really nice foundation brush. Some of my favorite things, is like, my favorite things I always like to kind of bring up here and there is that just because a brush says it's for something doesn't mean you have to use it for that. You can do whatever you want. So now let's come back in with whatever's left of my blush brush. And just kind of mush that right in there a little more. We're going to set the under eyes. We use Wet n Wild pink powder. With a look like this, I do want my under eyes to be pretty bright. So I'm not going to be shy. I'm using it to really clean up that line. And just use a beauty blender to apply it. You can use your sponge, whatever. Mine are just in the wash, and I still have not washed them. Because life has got too much to do. Not enough time. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the Kosas Cloud Set for the rest of the face on a little dense brush. This is a Laura Geller. Ooh. It's a Laura Geller Kabuki brush. I really like using this for like around the rest of the face or pressing some powder in. So you get longevity and all the things. Kosas Cloud Set's such a nice powder too. It really gives a nice airbrushed look to the skin. Lower lash line. You could leave it blank. You could do just a little bit of liner, which I think that's what we'll do. So we're not going to go too heavy or smoky. Just enough to balance things out. Today's keyword is going to be balance. Everything needs to be harmonious and flow with... Yeah, everything just needs to be very balanced with today's look. So, back to the liner. I'm going to grab a magnified mirror so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to take that right out here on this outer corner. I just like to kind of join that up. Just right out there. Because it just gives a finished look. But I don't want to do a ton on the lower lash line. Okay, I'm going to bring this into the tight line just a little bit. So I like to have that kind of as a barrier. When I'm using gray shades, it can, or colors like this, it can kind of wash out my eye color. So having a little bit of this super dark against my eye, like as a frame in there, can really help it from going to where it makes it look a little washed out, because these colors can look so similar to my eye color that it all starts to just kind of blur together, and not in a great way. And I know that can close the eye off a little bit, tight lining, but here's the thing. It's okay. We don't always have to have big, open, bright eyes. We can kind of lean into something a little bit different and kind of close the eye off if we want to. It doesn't matter. I would rather have this slightly closed off. I have small eyes anyway. The eyeliner's not making that big a difference. I would rather do that and have it not look washed out against my irises, if that makes sense to you. It's a choice, and you don't have to do that. You don't have to put it in your tight line if you don't want to. That is up to you. That is a personal preference. I get critiqued when I do it a lot. Like, people, you're closing your eyes off. You're making your eyes look so much smaller. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I got shrimp eyes anyways. It's not making that big a difference. And it's my eyes. So I'm going to do what I want. And I think it works with this color eyeshadow. I need to do it. It's not always the case. I don't always do that with a smoky eye. It depends on the colors that I'm using. And when it's a color that's going to wash my eyes out, I need that grounding of the darker, nearly black or black in there against the iris, or else it makes me look kind of sickly. It makes my eyes look very tired. Okay, now I'm going to take Night Sky on my angled brush again, which is that same shade we used as liner. And I'm just going to press that. And since you've already done the rest of the face, you got to be very careful at this point. So gently, just putting a little bit right there. Yeah, and then we'll take a little bit of Cygnus. Actually, I'm gonna take a little bit of Snert. Same brush. I'm not sure about that shade name, why it's called that. But it's making me think of, is it Thundercats? Snarf? It's making me want to giggle because it's a funny word. It sounds like the sound you would make if you stubbed your toe or something. Is it a sneeze? No, it's a snart. Sneeze fart. It's a snart. It's a funny word. It's a funny word. Alright, let's take a little bit of back to Stellar. We're going to come right here. Just in that front, a little bit. We'll do any like last minute finessing at this point. Yeah, silly sounding words make me giggle because I am a 12-year-old boy mentally a lot of times. And you know what? It's okay. Alright, just gonna do a little touching up. Make sure you get that tight line under there at the lashes. Because boy, I can't stand seeing that fleshy bit of skin, especially on a smoky eye. That is a pet peeve. Especially the older we get, the thinner our lashes get, and the more pronounced that's going to become. And I see it on like celebrities sometimes, and just on TV, and you can tell they curl their lashes, and it just makes it all the more prevalent. I'm like, put some brown liner, just some soft brown in there, because it really just makes it look like they have 5 lashes at that point. I see that on more mature actresses, and it's a little pet peeve. And good, yeah, this is a personal preference thing. It don't have to, it doesn't. Does it matter? No. It's just something I would personally do. There we go. Now, we'll do some mascara. Falsies. This would be a great look to throw on a set of falsies. Especially some little half lash ones, which I think I have some. I do. I have these little Ioni little half lashes from Dollar Tree. We'll put a couple clusters of these on. Yeah, I think that could be super cute. They're their little faux meek half lashy things. We'll do all 3 clusters. I think all 3 little clusters will work. I just need to cut them because they're attached, but they are too far spaced apart, so they need to be trimmed. Alright, and mascara. Any finishing touches. Sometimes the mascara's on, I feel like I could use a little more, like pulling up and out. So I jump back to the palette for just a second, and we're gonna do a little finessing. So I'm gonna grab a little bit more Stellar. I just want to pull some of that a little bit higher. You think I would have figured out to do this beforehand, you know, just I know that's how I'm gonna feel, but whatever. And we'll do a little bit of bronzer contour real quick. I'm gonna do a little bit of powder bronzer. I'm gonna use Film Start Bronze and Glow from Charlotte. And I'm gonna take a little bit of that bronzer on my blending brush, because this is again one of those very soft, cool-ish bronzers. Very sculpty bronzer. I'm just gonna put a little bit right here on the outer bit, because it gives something for everything to kind of blend into. And we'll do a little on the cheeks. And then for highlight, I'm just going to use a little bit of the highlighter in here as well. Just a very soft amount. And we jump over to my brows, tidy those up real quick. Let's see. For lip liner, we're going to do Hot Tamale from Milani. And this is going to be, the lip liner is going to be mostly for some definition and adding a hint of vampiness in. We're going to top this with Milani's Plumping, what is this called? Keep It Full Glossy Plumping Lip Balm in Lana, which is a really pretty kind of berry wine color. Because as this wears off, it's going to be easy to touch up. Is why I'm going to go with this. It's something I can just have in my pocket or whatever. Yeah, my jacket pocket, and just and touch it up throughout the night, and it's not a big deal. And it'll wear gracefully. Okay, let me throw my blazer on and you can get the whole kind of picture how we're going to look. All right, and here is my New Year's Eve glam look, all complete, even though it's not New Year's Eve that I'm going out and going for a birthday party. It's close enough, right? Close enough to New Year's Eve. And yeah, I just want to do something very sparkly, cool tone, very glam, but still a little chic and adjustable to what you like. And you know what? Looking at it now in the mirror, I think we could use a little more blush. And keeping with that theme of going neutral with the blush just to kind of balance everything out, we're going to do Tropic Hues from Laura Geller. It's all these colors swirled together and it just creates a very nice balanced balanced makeup look, or balanced cheek. Blush color, balanced blush color. Words. And it has a beautiful glow in it. There we go. Just a little bit more oomph. Okay, and here's the look all done. Let me know your thoughts down below, and if you have any plans for New Year's Eve, I would love to hear about those because it's fun, and I'm going to live vicariously through you guys because I'm not going to do a thing on New Year's Eve. Not a thing. New Year's Day, we got a lunch at a friend's house. That's what I'm going to do. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me and creating a look. Yeah, let me know what it is you hope 2026 will bring for you. What is something that you want to see happen in your life, in the world, whatever. Drop that down below. Let me know how you feel and what are some of your highlights of 2025. What were some good things that happened to you? Let me know. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.